Coming up on RMU Live, an IHOP in Robinson Township was robbed at gunpoint earlier this morning. And a man was charged in connection to a string of bomb threats targeted towards Jewish establishments. And finally, DNA and computer connections are coming closer to becoming a reality. All on this week's edition of RMU Live. Welcome to RMU Live. Today is Friday, March 3rd, 2017. My name is Rashad Christian.
And I'm Cassidy Walters. Here's what's happening now.
An IHOP in Robinson Township was robbed by a masked man with a gun, and the police were called shortly before 5 a.m. The suspect was described as a man wearing a heavy jacket, a ski mask, and gloves. Investigators have opened the search, and so far, no arrests have been made.
A celebration of a woman luncheon sponsored by the School of Education and Social Sciences will take place on Tuesday, March 14th from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. in the Sewell Center dining rooms A, B, and C with special guest speaker Brenda Henwood, the founder and owner of the FTBA. All are invited to attend.
Students Mary Funderlich and Dale Miller secured a $50,000 Colcom grant to build a tiny home on RMU's campus as part of an honors thesis project. Once finished, the tiny home will be donated to the Veterans Place of Washington Boulevard.
A United States Postal Service employee has been indicted by a federal grand jury in Pittsburgh for being accused of stealing prescription medications that were meant for veterans. He is accused of stealing the packages while on duty, and if found guilty, he would face a maximum sentence of 5 years in prison, a fine of $250,000, or both. A woman was caught passing drugs to her son while they were waiting for his court hearing on aggravated assault charges, authorities said. Someone in the courtroom saw the interaction and alerted officers. The son tested positive for Suboxone and is now facing additional charges as a result of the video.
A woman who did prison time in connection with her husband's death following a botched castration operation in their Butler County home will be released from custody. Tammy Falbum was most recently charged with making terroristic threats towards a judge, saying she has a gun, an Uzi, and a rocket launcher in her purse.
Abusing prescription pills can lead to abusing drugs such as heroin, studies have shown, and now experts have developed a new tool to curb addiction. The device is called Timer Cap, and each time it is screwed onto a bottle, it will tell the user the last time they took the medication and alert them if someone else has opened the bottle. CVS, Walgreens, and Rite Aid all sell their own versions of the Timer Caps.
Ty Holler, a volunteer football coach in Westmoreland County, is facing charges for corruption of minors and unlawful contact with minors. Holler began to send teens texts about his sex life with college students at Indiana University of Pennsylvania and even began sending topless photos of several women. He was immediately relieved of his duties. A former gymnastics coach was convicted by a jury this past Wednesday after assaulting 3 girls and a 16-year-old student. 45-year-old Keith Callan was then remanded to Allegheny County Jail to await his sentencing. His sentence will be decided on May 9th.
The families of people killed outside of a Homewood bar are calling for the business to be shut down permanently as a new owner prepares to reopen it. Many shootings have taken place outside of the bar over the past few years, but the bar's new manager claims that the parents' criticism is unfair because he is changing the name of the bar and he does not tolerate any nonsense or violence. The parents still plan to push forward with their petition, which they will take to the City Hall once it gathers 1,000 signatures. A mother's Facebook post went viral after her son was involved in a deadly hazing incident at Central Michigan University. Her 19-year-old son had peanut butter, a food that he is allergic to, rubbed on his face while he was asleep, which could have ended deadly. He was taken to the campus health clinic for treatment. Her son transferred to another school at the end of the semester, and his parents said their attorney will work with the police and that their son plans to give a statement to both the school and the authorities.
Pittsburgh Pirates third baseman Jung-Ho Gong has received a suspended sentence after receiving his 3rd DUI. The Sewell Central District Court sentenced Gong to 8 months in prison, and he was told that he will not have to serve jail time if he can keep his act clean during the 2-year suspension. Sports analyst Ian Kiss will have more on the story later in the show. More than a dozen members of the gang MS-13 were indicted on 7 killings spanning 3 years on Long Island. The 13 members of La Mara Salvatrucha are facing charges of murder, racketeering, attempted murder, assault, obstruction of justice, and arson in the 41 count.
It was announced that 11 U.S. states have agreed to drop a lawsuit against an Obama administration order for transgender students to use bathrooms of their choice after the measure was revoked by President Donald Trump. Obama officials had said that barring students from such bathrooms violated the federal law that forbids sex discrimination in education.
A fire broke out in an apartment under construction at the Trump International Hotel and Tower early Friday on Columbus Circle. The fire started at around 4:12 a.m. on the 47th floor and was sparked when a piece of machinery malfunctioned. Only one person was affected and treated for smoke inhalation. The FBI arrested a 31-year-old Missouri man and former reporter for The Intercept, Juan Thompson. He was also fired for fabricating quotes and misleading colleagues. Thompson on Friday was charged in connection with a wave of bomb threats against Jewish community centers in order to retaliate against an ex-girlfriend. Juan Thompson could possibly face 5 years in prison for the cyber-stalking charge alone. An FBI spokesperson said Thompson is not believed to be responsible for the recent wave of bomb threats against Jewish centers across the country.
A young UPS worker who was so dedicated to his job that he would walk 5 miles to work for his 4 in the morning shift and then 5 miles home again was given an SUV of his own as a gift from his fellow coworkers. One of his colleagues said that he deserved this gift because his work ethic and his family loyalty. Be sure to tune in to our other shows, RMU Live on Mondays and Fridays at 1 p.m., Sports Talk in the Berg on Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m., and Colonial Sports Center Thursdays at 9:30 p.m. here on RMU-TV.
Coming up on RMU Live, Nintendo Switch releases their game titles.
And the Swedish government creates a draft for men and women.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
The Nintendo Switch was revealed initially in January of this year, but since then, games and software have been announced. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, 1-2 Switch, Just Dance 2017, and a load of other games are scheduled to release today.
Shares of Snap Incorporated soar to 44% in IPO's first day, trading as investors flock to buy into the hottest technology stock offering in 3 years. At one point, the stock hit a high of $26.05 and a market value of $29.1 billion. This is the biggest U.S. technology IPO since 2014. NBC Universal invests $500 million in Snap as a part of the digital media firm's IPO process this week. NBC has invested about $1.5 billion to extend its reach in the digital arena during the past 18 months. They have partnered with Snap's Snapchat platform to produce short-form digital series, including properties tied to Saturday Night Live, The Voice, and other projects.
Attorney General Jeff Sessions agreed Thursday to recuse himself from any investigation into Russian meddling in America's 2016 presidential election. Congress Sessions rejected any suggestion that he had tried to mislead anyone about his contacts with the Russians, saying that it wasn't his intent. The leftist Swedish government instituted a draft for both men and women. There are about 20,000 working for the Swedish Armed Forces. 84% of them are men and 16% are women. The reasoning given behind the move was a deteriorating security environment in Europe and around Sweden and a need for more troops in the Baltic Sea.
Muslims have been banned from what has been termed provocative prayer in a school in Western Germany. The school claims that it has been recently observed that Muslim pupils in the school buildings are praying more often in front of others. Teachers were asked to report students who disobeyed to help identify the pupils violating the guidelines. The council defended the ban as being a way for public schools to promote peaceful coexistence and ensure school peace.
Beijing's escalating condemnation of South Korea over a U.S. anti-missile system has triggered protests against a popular retail giant and a reported ban on Chinese tour groups visiting the country. Protests have sprung in the last few days against Lot Mart, a South Korean hypermarket chain that sells food, clothing, toys, and electronics.
Downstate Illinois Representative Mike Bost claims that using the word Orientals in a recent statement he made was a poor choice of words and regrets using it. Bost said that he had no malicious intent and regrets that his words may have distracted from an important point. Bost said that it becomes much harder to govern when the booing and shouting drowns out the conversation. Right-wing Polish politician Janusz Korwin-Mikke could reportedly face a fine or suspension after he provoked a furious response after saying women should earn less money than men because they are weaker, smaller, and less intelligent. Korwin-Mikke has previously been fined for using racist language at a debate, and many believe he should be excluded if he continues to be disrespectful.
Researchers in New York found a way to use DNA like an actual computer hard drive, successfully storing, replicating, and retrieving several digital files. The coding process produced 72,000 DNA strands, each 200 bases long. Researchers sent the DNA file to Twist Bioscience, a startup in San Francisco that turns digital DNA into biological DNA. 2 weeks later, the company sent the researchers a vial containing their DNA strands. On Monday, SpaceX founder and CEO Elon Musk announced that the company plans to launch 2 paying customers on a week-long trip around the moon before the end of 2018. In theory, the trip can be pulled off, but the difficulty is at a high level. Wayne Hale, a former manager in NASA's space program, said he thinks their schedule is too aggressive.
H.H. Gregg, a struggling appliance and electronics retailer based in Indianapolis, is planning to close 88 of its weakest stores in order to stay afloat. It will close stores in 15 states, including Pennsylvania, and close 3 distribution centers, which will result in about 1,500 layoffs. The closing will be completed by mid-April. Amazon's popular web hosting service, S3, made much of the internet ground halt earlier this week when the servers suddenly disappeared. The cause of the crash was a typo in the system that accidentally made a large amount of servers go offline. Everything was fixed a few hours after the crash, and as a result, Amazon is making changes to S3 to make it recover more quickly.
And for all the news you could possibly need regarding RMU sports and arts and entertainment, be sure to check out RMUCenturyMedia.com.
Coming up after the break, weather forecaster Eddie Sheehy will be in our weather center with a look at this weekend's forecast.
And our sports anchor Ian Kiss will be talking about tournament time for RMU sports when we come back from the break.
So, I just moved in with his family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back to RMU Live. I'm Ian Kist. Thursday evening, Pittsburgh Pirates Jung Ho Gong's verdict was announced in relationship to his third DUI charge in Korea. Gong was sentenced to 8 months in jail, but that sentence is suspended for 2 years. However, Gong will not have to serve the jail sentence if he remains out of trouble during those 2 years. The third baseman is now clear to join the Pirates in Florida for spring training. It is unclear at this time if Gong will face punishment from Major League Baseball or the Pirates organization. In RMU-related sports news, the women's hockey team is a few hours away from facing off in the CHA semifinals against the Lindenwood Lions. The Colonials are 3-1 against the Lions this season. The men's basketball team will continue their run to the NEC Championship game when they take on Mount St. Mary's this Saturday in NEC Tournament Finals. And finally, the women's basketball team will begin their tournament play Sunday as they battle Fairleigh Dickinson at the Charles L. Sewell Center. Tip-off is slated for 1 p.m. Now, the Eddie Sheehu's in the Weather Center for the updated weather report. Eddie?
Yeah, thanks, Ian. Borrowing a line from you, slamma jamma ding dong, get the door rashad because it's cold outside, right? Right now we're sitting here, a temperature of 32 degrees right now with a low of 19. Now, we're not going to get out of that freezing temperatures today, and we're sitting at a 40% chance of snow. That 40% chance of snow, though, really is right now. Right now, if you're looking outside, there is a chance it's snowing. I haven't looked outside in about half an hour. Last I checked, it was not snowing, but as we get throughout the day, that chance of snow gets less and less. It's about 40% now, 30% in an hour, so on. Now, looking outside, right, this, like I said, is from about a half an hour. A lot of clouds covering the area, the school. Cloud cover seemed to be a normal thing we're seeing on Fridays. Now, moving into our weather map, this is where we're going to get to take a look at the weather systems coming through the area. Over here, over in the Washington, Pittsburgh, Greensburg, Johnstown area, cloud cover scattered throughout the area. I noticed walking on campus today, you look in one direction, there's sun, you look in the other, there's clouds. That is going to be consistent throughout the rest of the day and even into tomorrow. Taking a look at tomorrow's temperature, 36 degrees, though that's a little high. That's a little liberal of an estimate. The low is going to be 20. I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow we're in the same position we were today, where we stay in the freezing temperatures all day long. Snow chance 40%. Also, though, that is going to be more in the early morning, 3, 4, 5 a.m. That's when you're most likely to see snow. Taking a look at our 5-day forecast. Cloudy on Sunday with 54 and a low of 40. The temperature is going to be going back up to those more average but not so average temperatures we've been seeing throughout March. Monday, some rain, 56 and 52. This rain brings the warming up also into Tuesday, 62, 38. Wednesday and Thursday sitting at 53 and lows in the 30s. Guys, back to you.
I'm really excited for the weather. I mean, it's nice to see that the weather's going back up towards a more positive state. That's all the time we have for RMU Live today.
We'll see you next week.